Hello everyone, it's Brian Akeem here. Welcome to Livestream number 13. Today is February 7th, and today is Friday. So how are we all doing tonight? I see that Dan was here earlier, or actually he's probably still here, but let's see. He says, hey guys, and Dan says, hope everyone's doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good, Dan. So let's see. Hopefully we can... I just came from Ash's Super Videos. I was participating in his stream. So yeah, so we got a bunch of new promo pictures for The Walking Dead second half, and obviously I cannot show all of them here because it's stream. So obviously in the thumbnail we see Jerry, Magna, Kelly, Carol, Connie, and Aaron, but we don't see Daryl anywhere. So my guess is also you can see that Carol is looking up, so maybe Daryl is climbing out of the cave on a different way, like a different path, and Carol is just keeping an eye on Daryl, like she's watching him. So also even looks like Kelly is looking up. So I definitely think they could be, like Daryl. He's not in that shot, so he's probably, climbing up. Because we know that out of everyone there, Daryl is the most agile person. So it makes sense. And oh, hey Dan, he says love the pictures. Yeah, I do too. I still find it so weird, and I actually found out that someone told me that AMC took down the picture with Jerry at the hilltop with Ezekiel, and they cropped it to only show Ezekiel, and then they re-released that picture. So I think that that further proves that it was Jerry in that picture. They probably just messed up and didn't think. I don't know how they could have messed that up, honestly, because like the first time I saw that picture, I pretty much had a feeling that was Jerry. Like it looked pretty much like him. So that's just weird. How does someone just release a picture like that without even thinking it might be a spoiler? I don't know. But yeah, and there were a lot of good pictures. There was one with there was one with Negan in the Whispers, and they were eating something. But yeah, and Dan says it's too late now, AMC. LOL. Yeah, exactly, Dan. I mean, like the pictures out there, they knew also they knew we were gonna analyze it. Like the AMC, they think they're smart, but we're always two steps ahead of them, kind of thing. The fans were always crafting new ideas, theories, and every time we get a picture, even if they take it down, we'll always have like backups and stuff. So yeah, so that's pretty funny. Let's see, and there was also a picture with Judith, and she's wearing a jacket, so I think that's gonna be like maybe the final few episodes of season 10, because normally in The Walking Dead, the characters usually wear jackets and stuff when it's colder, because in real life they film the second half of a season when the filming ends, the temperature drops in Georgia, so I think that's most likely what's happening. So I'm not sure why Judith would be by herself though, because right now in the story, Judith is at, let's see, she's going back to Alexandria, I think, with Scott, right? They were at Oceanside. I'm not really sure. Yeah, Dan, do you remember? I'm trying to remember where Judith was when we last saw her. She was at Oceanside, and I think they were going to head back to Alexandria, unless they headed to the hilltop. But yeah, they were at Oceanside. So we see Judith in the promo at Oceanside, not Oceanside, sorry, in the hilltop. So she's gonna be there too, and we know that she gives Daryl the painted-on vest or whatever. So I don't know if she's gonna go back to Alexandria. We do know Alexandria is gonna be attacked, but I don't. It's possible that Judith is not able to make it back to Alexandria before the attack. So I find that interesting. Let's see. By the way, guys, this might be, let's see, this might be a short stream tonight. Just to let you know, it's probably not going to be a very long stream. And by the way, I want to thank you guys, Dan, Eastside Badger, and Epic Zombie Killer, for the last stream where I went over 3 hours. I really appreciate that, and that was crazy. But I don't think I'm gonna do 3 hours ever again, or at least not until, like, definitely not in the break. With 3 weeks left, or actually not 3 weeks. It's like 16 days. until The Walking Dead returns, but I'm not really going to do another 3 hour stream, at least for not a long time. And actually, when I ended the stream on Monday, like, no joke, my nose actually like started bleeding, and I had a headache, and I was just, I don't know, it was really, really weird. I mean, I'm okay now. It wasn't like crazy bad or anything. It was just like, that was just weird. So maybe it was just like 3 hours, and who knows, maybe like brains are not meant to last that long doing a stream. Dan says Judith was at Oceanside, but now I'm thinking she's going to be at Hilltop mainly because of the trailer with her fighting. Yeah, I agree, Dan. Although it doesn't make sense. Like, wouldn't Scott? The thing is, we see Scott in Alexandria behind Father Gabriel when Father Gabriel has the shotgun. So either, oh, hey, we got a new person on the stream, King Ken 214. Hey, man. Glad you made it to my stream. I remember seeing you on at Ash's Super Videos. I remember it was live stream number 200, I think. So yeah, and you say remember me from Ash's stream. Yeah, I was just there, King Ken. I Yeah, Ash did a really good stream, and I just I just came. I just came here to do my stream because I was scheduled. I really did not know Ash was going to do a stream tonight, so I decided to do a little bit of that, participate in that stream, and then come here for mine. So yeah, streams are fun as long as like there's not like a crazy amount of people, because a lot of times you don't get your comment or question picked, like Ronnie Hayes' channel or Trevis Chance. So let's see. Dan says, "Nice to see another Walking Dead fan." Yes, yeah, Dan, it's really nice. Like, even though like like streams don't always get a lot of people. Like when I was at Ash's stream tonight, I noticed like not a whole lot of people. So that's the thing about The Walking Dead. Like I mean, I'm grateful for all the people who come to my streams as it is, but there are like not many people who come to streams. I guess streams are just a hard thing to do. You know what I mean? Because you don't know exactly when they're gonna happen, and like they go on for at least 40 minutes, if not hours. So it kind of makes sense why everyone cannot be a part of a stream because people have other things to do. They have work or school or who knows, church. So it's a lot of things. King Ken says, "Why was Lydia not in the trailer?" Yeah, I have no idea, King Ken. I'm worried that they might kill her off because they don't know what to do with Lydia. So, kind of like what happened with Enid. So, after they killed off Carl in season 8, they killed off Enid in season 9, and they killed off Henry in season 9. So, I'm thinking Lydia could die in season 10. And we see that shot of Alpha in blood in the promo, so it's very possible that because in the comic Alpha never kills Lydia, but it's very possible that the show can do something crazy like have Alpha killing Lydia when she sees her. Like imagine like Lydia comes back, Alpha kills her, and does that to make sure no one finds out that she lied to the other Whisperers that because she told them earlier that she killed Lydia back around the fair. So I mean, I think it's very possible, and I'm not saying I don't want that to happen. They're most likely not showing Lydia because they want us to keep us guessing, because Lydia she's a question right now because we don't really know whose side she's on, and we don't really know what they're going to do with her character. In the comic, she was with Carl at the hilltop, and, like the whole way through. But in the show, they're definitely doing some more changes with her, so I'm not really sure. I'm guessing that they're not showing her in the trailer because they really want us to keep us guessing, because like they could have Alpha kill her or something else happen that we don't see coming. So I'm not really sure. I think that's why Lydia is not in the trailer. They're keeping it as secret as they can. So thank you for the question, King Ken. Let's see. Dan says, "I know it's weird. I'm not sure either." Yeah, I don't know what it is either, Dan. I think with Lydia, she's like a curveball. Like you want to think she's on the survivor side, but you're not 100% sure, and you don't know. And the thing is, it's a show. The show rarely follows the comic when it comes to characters living and dying. I mean, sure, they follow it when it comes to Glenn, but look what happened with Carl and Andrea. With Paul, I mean, they killed off those characters. when they weren't really supposed to die, at least not that early. So that's the thing about the show. Just because a character is still alive in the comic, it doesn't mean they're gonna outlive. I mean, they could die sooner in the show. I mean, look what happened with Denise, with Olivia. I mean, there's so many characters I can think of who died sooner in the show than they did in the comic. The Carson brothers. I mean, there's tons of them. Like, I mean, a lot. Oh, even Benjamin, like from the Kingdom. I mean, there's tons of them. So yeah, let's see. And Dan says, I like Lydia, but I just don't know what they're doing with her. Yeah, me either, Dan. Like I said earlier, she's a curveball because like I know she's probably on the good side. She just doesn't know what to do at the moment. But I still don't know what they're gonna have her do in the story because they could honestly kill her off, like Alpha kills her, to prove a point to the Whisperers or something. Because Alpha does have blood on her in the promo, and we don't know whose blood that is. You know what I mean? And not only that, but I honestly don't know. I mean, could Lydia find the survivors in the cave? I mean, she could do that, or she could find the Whisper camp. I mean, she knows where it is, right? So I find it odd that like she wasn't in episode 8. You know what I mean? Like that was very odd to me. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, even Gamma managed to get back to not Alexandria. Sorry. I mean, Gamma went to the Whisperer camp after she saw Lydia, and then she goes to Alexandria, and we don't see where Lydia is, but she's got to be somewhere. King Ken says, "Do you think The Walking Dead 3 will be worse than Fear?" That's really tough, King Ken, to say exactly. I will say that it definitely does have an interesting concept with the whole CRM, but as far as will be worse than Fear, I think that it'll be slightly worse than when Fear started in season 1, or like just as bad to worse than Fear season 1. But I mean, they're going to end in 2 seasons. Do I think it's going to be worse than Fear season 6? Probably not. I will say probably not. I am interested in. I mean, I'm not interested in the characters. Like, I think they really did not do a good job on not just the casting, but writing the characters. They should not have done like the leads that they have planned because I don't know, they just don't seem that interesting. But as far as the concept, I mean, it kind of works. I'm sure they can make it interesting. Like, I'll watch the first episode and it'll probably be pretty good, to get introduced to the community and the characters. But then episode 2, like, they're probably going to be like, well, let's go leave. And it's going to be kind of weird. Uh, I mean, I don't know how you can do 2 seasons of them just exploring, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. So I think the world beyond The Walking Dead 3 will be, I think the first season will be like okay to a little bit worse than Fear season 1, but I think it'll still be better than Fear season 6. So thank you for the question, Kingen. Dan says it doesn't look the best to be honest. Yeah, I agree, Dan. I mean, we've all said how we would write the Walking Dead third series, The World Beyond. I've said it on this channel multiple times, and some of you guys actually said that sounds like better than just having 4 teenagers go out there to explore the world. So the thing is, this community, it needs to give us some more about the CRM. Like, it's got to actually, like, scare us and, like, to fear this CRM group. Like, we need to actually see a good chunk of them. You know what I mean? I don't want them to just show them in the first episode and then we never see them again, because that would be a mistake. Hi, Eastside Badger. He says, I wouldn't be surprised if Kang kills off Lydia. She really has no story without Carl and Henry. Yeah, I agree, Eastside Badger. I don't know what it is, but like it happened with Enid. They killed off Enid in season 8 because she was tied to Carl's story. You know what I mean? And they didn't really know what to do with her. Enid was Carl's sort of love interest, and they decided to kill her off because, well, Carl was gone. And then with Henry, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, like they decided to kill off Henry too when they really shouldn't have. They should have kept Henry and killed off Ezekiel. And I mean, they could have Enid. You know what I mean? They could do what they. Sorry, Lydia. They could give Lydia her comic story, but instead they're doing something else. So I don't know what they're doing. Let's see. King Ken says if it's good, it will have more seasons. I kind of disagree with you, King Ken, on that. I think that the World Beyond season 1 will do about as good as so like not the premiere of like the premiere Fear got like 10 million viewers. I don't think I see like 3 to 5 million viewers for the premiere of World Beyond. Like that's it. But I see the fan reaction being like, okay, this is pretty good, and then throughout season one, the fans will be like, okay, this is getting a little bit boring. The characters are not that interesting. Like just the first episode was watchable, and then it'll kind of get worse. But I still think that it'll be a little bit better than Fear season 6, because look at Fear the Walking Dead. Like season 4 and 5 were not good seasons, and they're still doing more. They're doing a season 6. They're not doing it just because of fan reaction. They're doing it because of money. So, and they also confirmed and said there was only going to be 2 seasons of World Beyond, and that's smart. Like fans do not want multiple seasons of World Beyond. So yeah, Dan says, yeah, I agree with you. I'm just not sure where they're going with her character. Yeah, Lydia, like, I mean, like they've changed so many comic character stories, like so much. It's just crazy. They've rarely given a character, his or her same story from the comic. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, I bet World Beyond gets less than 1 million for the premiere. Wow, Eastside Badger. I mean, that's a good prediction. It's kind of like sad, but it's definitely possible. I see it getting like 3 or 5, and that's just me being positive. And the Fear got like 10 million, which was even more than the Walking Dead pilot, but obviously people like the pilot of the original show more. Let's see. Dan says that'll be kind of funny to see. LOL. Yeah, if that happens, Dan, they might have to decide to end season 2 like with 5 episodes instead of like 10. Let's see. King Ken says Fear season 1 to 3 was good. Then, well, you know what happened. Yeah, I know what happened, King Ken. They decided to do that time skip. They decided to have Morgan as the lead, leave the main show and go to Fear to become the lead. They decided that he will make everyone a pacifist, and the characters run around, in the Texas desert being stupid and letting a woman with a walker catcher, terrorize them for half a season. I mean, that's just so wrong. I mean, like Morgan took on an outpost full of saviors by himself, and he can't even take on an elderly woman. I mean, come on, that is just terrible writing. Let's see. Dan says Fear season 4 was so bad it makes me so upset because season 3 was so awesome. Yeah, I agree, Dan. I mean, the first half of season 4 was pretty good. I'll admit it was pretty good, but just the second half was just terrible. I mean, could they have improved the first half a little bit? Sure, but like Nick's death was like so unexpected. That's what we need more of, like those unexpected moments, like shocking moments in Fear, and we never get that anymore. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, I think World Beyond is only getting 2 seasons because AMC is wrapping up the entire Walking Dead universe with The Walking Dead season 12. I definitely think that's possible, Eastside Badger. I mean, okay, so the thing is, World Beyond is starting this year, and we're gonna get season 11. Yeah, so World Beyond season 2 will end right before season 12 of the main show. So yeah, I definitely think you're onto something, Eastside Badger. It actually does make sense, but in order for that to work, they would have to end Fear either in season 6 or season 7, and we're hoping it doesn't get a season 7. Let's see. And very good comment, by the way, Eastside Badger. I'm gonna think about that more. Dan says, yeah, maybe that's why the movie is taking so long. I mean, that's one problem with the movies, Dan. The movies, the first movie will be done when like season 12 is about to come. I think, because I don't think they started filming yet. So I think I heard that filming is gonna be done late this year. Like, you know what I mean? They still have to work on the script and production, so most likely they're going to start filming in September or November of this year, which means that if they can wrap up filming, by then we can expect, I don't know, the movie could come out in 2021, but it could be 2022, and I don't know, that's taking way too long. I agree with you, Dan. I mean, if Scott Gimple, I just don't know. Like, if they're gonna end The Walking Dead at season 12, then the movies would have to take place after the main show ends. I just don't know what they're gonna do. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, I bet the Rick movie could be changed to be The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and World Beyond. Finales all wrapped up in a movie theater finale. Yeah, possibly Eastside Badger, because I think they said something about like the CW Crisis thing, where if you guys don't watch Flash, Supergirl, Batwoman, and Arrow, they combined all four of those shows. Like they had a story that revolved around all four of those shows, and you have to watch like all those episodes from the different shows to get a good flow of the story of what's happening. To see one part of the story from the end. And it's possible The Walking Dead's going to do something like that. Dan says, I actually think that's a cool idea. Maybe, Dan, but the Rick movies are just taking way too long. If The Walking Dead ends at season 12, the Rick movies are going to have to continue after that. And Eastside Badge says, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that, Dan. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, man, what I would give to just be in the AMC offices and just, hear what they're planning. You know what I mean? Just, give my input and just hear what they think is a good idea. Dan says, yeah, especially because of mainly the ratings unfortunately not doing great. Yeah, I mean the ratings for the main show are doing pretty good. They're better than season 7 and 8, I believe, but the viewership is definitely down. Let's see. King Ken says Madison could still be alive. I wish she was King Ken, but unfortunately that's not possible. They did a memorial for Madison on Talking Dead, and they would have to retcon Madison's death, and that would make them look like incompetent writers. And I don't think they're willing to admit that. We know they are, but I don't think they're willing to admit that. I think they want to save, face and just own up to their I don't think they want to own up to their mistake. I think they want to just keep continuing it, even though obviously it was a mistake. I mean, I get it. Madison wasn't helping Fear, but they could have, I don't know, maybe just had her go missing and then brought her back or something. Eastside Badger says, I DVR'd season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead and watched all of the episodes during one weekend. It was a glorious weekend. Yeah, that's great, Eastside Badger. I wish I had time to rewatch Fear the Walking Dead season 3, but unfortunately I couldn't. There were still a couple of mistakes here and there, I feel like they did with season 3. They were killing off way too many characters. Like there's no one from season 3 in season 4 or 5 of Fear. You know what I mean? Like there's not a single surviving character from season 3. Like we didn't gain a single survivor from that entire season. So that's a bit of a fail on Fear side as far as that season. But it was pretty good, and yeah, I mean they definitely had interesting characters. I mean Jake, Otto, and Troy. I mean, pretty good characters. Taka as a villain and his friend. I don't remember what his name is, but his friend. That I mean, yeah, Fear was. They killed off a lot of characters. They killed off Travis and Ophelia, and just I don't know. I mean, at least Daniel wasn't a pacifist that season. Dan says, I don't know. I would love to see that, but to be honest, I don't even think that could save the show at this point. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're talking about Madison. Yeah, I don't think bringing back Madison could save Fear, just because the horrible writing. Like, what I mean? Bringing back a character like just doesn't fix that writing, because then they're gonna make Madison a pacifist, even though like she kind of was one in season 4. But you take a good character, put him in a bad story, then that's going to hurt the character as well. They need to fix the writing in Fear. I think that's the main issue. They need to get rid of the gray filter. They need to stop with the bottle episodes and episodes where characters being split up and doing stupid things. They need to stop with the pacifism thing. No more characters trying to make up for what they've done in the past. I mean, like I said before, the only characters who need to make up for what they've done is Morgan and I mean, like Daniel, I guess, but like that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, Strand, sure, he needs to make it up to, Daniel, but he doesn't need to do it for the other characters. You know what I mean? As far as like Dwight doesn't have anything to make up for. You know what I mean? He's earned his redemption. It's done. Like, and Alicia, she has nothing to prove to anyone. You know what I mean? Alicia is great the way she was. Is a different story. Let's see. And by the way, thank you all for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. Let's see. And Dan says, each side, yeah, that season was a masterpiece. It was a really good season, Dan. I'll admit. I did have a few issues with, who were they killing off, and they decided to have Alicia split up, to go to the trade outpost, and that was a mistake because, like, I hate it when characters have to split up. But the damn part was, exploding. That was great. The Troy death, that was a bit of a mistake. Like, they definitely should have kept some characters from season 3 into the like later seasons of the show. Like, we definitely needed some characters from season 3, and they were just killing off not only the old characters but all of the new characters they introduced. And then they had, Taka and his friend. I don't remember his name, sorry, but they had his friend just like watch the dam explode and they just left. And it's like, they're not gonna go find them? Like, I don't know, that was a mistake. Eastside Badger says, let's face it, there will only be one Rick movie, and I bet why it's taking so long is AMC probably told Gimple to redo the script. It's definitely possible, Eastside Badger. I mean, I just don't know, like, I don't know why it's taking this long, because I've heard that Gimple is not very involved in writing the scripts for the shows anymore. So, like, what is Gimple doing with his time, Like, I'm sorry, but maybe if he stopped, you know, stopped, commenting on articles, about Fear, saying that, oh, it's going to be worth it in season 6, like, or, you know what I mean? Like, he did that. Like, he did that for season 8. Do you guys remember? He said that season 8 will be amazing to make up for season 7, but obviously he was wrong. Let's see. Dan says he's that bad of a writer. I mean, like, to be fair, Dan, if you get a fan like, one of us, like, if one of us can just like read his script and take like a red pencil or like a pen and just make corrections here and there, I'm sure it will be an amazing script. So sure, like Gimple, he can write the chunks of, he can write the majority of the script, but he just needs someone like us to fix those obvious mistakes. So yeah, let's see. And Dan says sounds about right. LOL. Eastside Badger says there's no other explanation. Dan, Gimp said he was writing the script last March on Talking Dead. Something had to have been changed. Yeah, I don't know, Eastside Badger. Maybe it's Andrew Lincoln's schedule, but I honestly don't know. It's hard to say. I can't believe it's taking this long to production and film. Like, if Andrew Lincoln really cannot, start filming until November or something, like, that is just crazy. Like, we might get the movie in like Christmas of 2021. Like, that's just crazy. Let's see. Dan says that gray filter is so annoying. Every field thumbnail I make literally needs to make it vibrant colors just so it doesn't look so stupid. LOL. Yeah, Dan, exactly. I mean, if you can do it, like, how can these writers who get millions of dollars not do it? I mean, that's just sad. Like, and that's the problem with them. They have no passion. They have no sense of what the fans want to see. They just do the minimum work to get paid, and they don't care about the story. Like, I'm sorry, you should not be a writer of the Walking Dead properties if you don't care about the story. You know what I mean? You should be a fan of it, but also a writer. You know what I mean? Like, that should be a requirement. Eastside Badger says Gimp said after season 4 it took his writers 1 month to write a 16-episode season of The Walking Dead. A movie is 2 hours and Walking Dead is season is 16 hours. Yeah, I have no idea, Eastside Badger. If his writers just need 1 month to write 16 episodes, okay, so they're basically writing an episode once every 2 days. So basically half an episode every day, these writers. And that's like half an episode is like 20-30 minutes. If they cannot even do a 2-hour movie in like all these months, like, I'm sorry, but just fire them or something. Like, something is not right here, and they need to get some talented people. Like, seriously. Dan says, yeah, it's not that hard. It doesn't take a year to write it. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Dan. I just don't know what it is with them taking so long to write the movie. Is it just because of Andrew Lincoln's schedule, or are they rewriting it because Polly McIntosh and Corey Hawkins can't, be in the movie or something, and they need to change certain scenes? I don't know what it is. Like, just get the actors. Like, you're supposed to get the actors first, then you do the script. You know what I mean? Like, did they write the script and then, like, Jadis and Heath, the actors for them, said that they couldn't, make it in the movie or something. I just don't know. Eastside Badger says Lincoln is dragging his feet on this movie. My guess is he's having second thoughts. He probably doesn't trust Gimple. And Dan says I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, after The Walking Dead season 7 and 8, and then Fear season 4 and 5, just 4 really bad seasons in a row. I mean, that is crazy. Plus, like season 6, it sounds like it's going to be the worst season in Fear, and I know that's crazy, but I definitely think it's possible. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I think in the second half of the season, so I think episode 9 is going to focus on the characters in the cave and a little bit of the Whisper camp stuff, and I think Gamma is going to go to Alexandria and tell him that the characters are trapped. I'm not sure if Gabriel and the others are going to go out there or not. Let's see. Eastside Badge says, I bet Lincoln's worried this movie could hurt his new career. But Eastside Badger, like, what new career exactly? Like, I mean, Andrew Lincoln, like, people will remember him for Rick Grimes more than anything, I think. So, like, as far as like new career, do you mean in a simple movie, like that's not related to The Walking Dead? Because I just don't think that's going to be as recognizable, you know. So I'm not sure. Dan says if Gimple is involved, Andrew is doomed. Yeah, I mean, like I would feel so much better if it said like if Gimple with like Eastside Badger or Dan, like writing, what I mean, like co-writing the script. That would make me feel a lot better about this, movie. Because I mean, I don't know if Gimple is thinking about The Walking Dead, like, as far as like quality wise. Let's see. Dan says I was wrong about Jerry though. That's okay, Dan. I thought they might kill him off too, but I knew that they were making it just too obvious in the promo, and I don't know. I feel like it's either going to be Magna or Connie, and that's crazy, But it's not going to be Aaron, Carol, Daryl, Kelly. I don't know why they decided to show Kelly. I mean, that's Kelly in the promo, because like I just don't get the point of Kelly. Like, okay, I want to go through all of Magna's group, and I'm gonna say how they're useful and useless. All right, so Dan says, I'll admit it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was wrong here and there about certain things. Let's see. So Magna is like probably the like second least likable member of Magna's group, like her group, and she's the leader. I mean, Magna's got skills. At least she has that, but she's unlikable. Kelly is like is not as skilled as Connie. Sorry, not Connie, as Magna, and she is also not likable. Like, I don't get what they're doing with Kelly, because if Connie dies, that doesn't do anything for Kelly. You know what I mean? She's a boring character already. Makes no sense. But Connie is different. She has a fan base. She has a following. She is a very talented actress, and she hasn't had a whole lot of time, and she's a possible love interest for Daryl. I mean, are they really going to kill her, off Daryl's first love interest ever, possibly, possible love interest, just to develop someone like Kelly, a useless character? I'm sorry, it just makes no sense. Now, Luke is pretty likable, and he actually does have like some. I mean, he doesn't really have skill, but he is somewhat of a fighter. But he's not as popular as Connie, but he's definitely up there. Like, he's probably like the second most likable person from Magnus Group. And as far as Yumiko, we know that Yumiko is going to survive the Whisper War. She is definitely going to survive it. AMC released that promo picture with Yumiko, Eugene, and Ezekiel. Like, they're obviously going to the Commonwealth. It's obviously going to happen in the later parts of the second half. So I don't know why AMC is okay with releasing that information, but it's happening. I mean, and it's weird. Magna's not going with Yumiko, so I wonder what they're going to do there. Dan says it better not be Connie. Yeah, I agree, Dan. I mean, Connie is the most likable in Magna's group. She is a possible love interest for Daryl, and like, she actually is still alive in the comics, or at least lasts as long. So it just doesn't make sense to kill her off. I mean, they even said like they have fun working with her. Like, why take her out of the story so soon? Eastside Badger says, starting to think there will be no deaths in the season 10 be premiere. Probably won't see any deaths until the end of season 10. I mean, it's possible Eastside Badger, but I hope not. I mean, like, I don't think we need a death exactly in the cave, but we need to get, Gabriel, the death of Gabriel, and like I think we're gonna get that. Like, so either Gabriel or Rosita, and we might even get the death of Rosita. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Let's see. Dan says, you're probably right. Alpha will probably be the only big death, but maybe we'll get the Gabriel water tower scene as well. Yeah, I think so too. And the thing is, Dan, is we know that Father Gabriel is outside of Alexandria with a shotgun. He's with Scott and a few other guys. I don't recognize them, and honestly, that's kind of weird that we've never seen those guys before in Alexandria. Bit of an issue because we should know everyone there. But anyway, we see Gabriel is out there, and we know that Beta is going to invade Alexandria. So that had me thinking, what if, like, Beta does attack Alexandria and they do a scene like that? Like, what if, you know, Gabriel gets pursued, Father Gabriel gets pursued by Whisperers, and one of, like, Beta is following them, and Gabriel is the last one in that group killed, and they do the water tower scene. So that would be crazy. I mean, they could do something like that. Because, like, Gabriel, we only see him, the only parts where we see him in the promo are when he's at the council table, when Gamma's telling them that Daryl and the others are trapped, and when Gabriel has a shotgun and he's outside of Alexandria. So we don't see Gabriel after that scene. So it's very possible he dies or something. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, I bet episode 9 to 13 will be set up episodes, and 14 and 16 will be the bigger stuff. I mean, it's possible, Eastside Badger, but I hope not. Like, we've had a whole first half season of setting up. We should just get tons of stuff, like tons of action, character development, and maybe just small setups here and there, like just setting up the Commonwealth. So, like, episode 9 should be like the cave stuff, and Alpha, the Whisper camp stuff, and Gamma telling them that the group is trapped. Episode 10, I hope it's not a flashback episode, but it might be. Episode 11 is like Attack on the Alexandria, and episode 12 is like Michonne's last episode, and then episode 13 is the Attack on the Hilltop episode. Actually, we got to put Alpha's death somewhere in there too, so I'm not really sure, but we know there's going to be at least 2 huge attacks on the communities. So yeah, I'm not really sure, but it's possible. Dan says, I hope not, because we already got that slow stuff in season 10A. It's enough, Angela, get to it. Yeah, I agree, Dan. I mean, I'm okay with some setup. Like, they do have to set up the Commonwealth in, like, the last 2 episodes, I think. It only makes sense, you know what I mean? Like, episode 15 is going to be like Daryl or Carol. They're going to ask Eugene. They're going to be like, who is this person on the radio? And then episode 16, we're going to have Eugene, Yumiko, and Ezekiel leaving Alexandria and the Hilltop, and they're going to, the Commonwealth. So, I don't know. That's kind of a small group, honestly. What do you guys think? Eastside Badger says, gonna miss Father Gabe. Yeah, me too, Eastside Badger. But honestly, I guess it's time, unfortunately. Let's see. Dan says he's so awesome in season 9A and 10. No, sorry, season 9 and 10. Why did I say A? Anyways, yeah, Father Gabriel was pretty awesome. I mean, although I still don't understand why he never mentioned Jadis and the helicopter thing to Michonne. That was still kind of weird. I wonder if Michonne. It's too late now. Michonne left. But yeah, I've always wondered if he ever told her. But as far as Father Gabriel, yeah, he's definitely one of those original characters. He's been around not just half the show, but even more than half the show if you think about it. Because, seasons 5 to 10 were more episodes than seasons 1 to 5. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Father Gabriel's had amazing development. And, let's see. And Eastside Badger says he was Dan, and Dan says that Dante kill scene was so crazy. I just love that scene and how it was done. Yeah, me too, Dan. And I wonder, like, I hope, like, no one has a problem with it in Alexandria. Like, if there's one person in the community that is like, you had no right to murder Dante, like, we should have had a trial and stuff, I'm just gonna tell that person, like, shut up. Like, who are you? You have no you have no say here. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's just going to be like, you know what I mean? Like, who do you think you are, kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, it's sad, but I think that Father Gabriel is going to die. It makes sense. His comic death is coming soon, and we don't really get too many moments where a character dies at the exact same time as their comic death. You know what I mean? Like in the TV show to the comic, we don't really get that too often, where they die at the exact same time. I mean, besides Herschel and Glenn and some season one characters, like that's I guess the governor too. It's like I don't know, it's like 5 to 10 maybe, like characters, so it's not a whole lot. So let's see. Eastside Badger says, sad but Gabe's story seems to be running out, and Jerry as well. Gabriel's definitely, but Jerry's, I don't think so. Eastside Badger. So like I'm pretty sure I already said earlier, there's a picture of Jerry fighting at the hilltop, so we know he makes it out of the cave, and it's not a spoiler. AMC released this picture, and sure they tried to delete it and then crop it, but it wasn't a spoiler. They released it. They made a mistake. People know that Jerry is most likely going to survive, and plus they made it too obvious that he was going to die in the caves. But I feel like Magna or Magna or Connie can die in the caves. Let's see. As far as Jerry, I don't think Jerry's gonna die. I think they're gonna make Jerry into a darker character. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna give him more to do. Because Jerry's not like a teddy bear character. Like he's a nice guy, but you mess with his friends, his family, like he's gonna kill you. You know what I mean? So I definitely think they might make him like a darker character or something eventually down the line. But he's got a fan favorite, and I can't believe Jerry doesn't have a Funko Pop. Like he's pretty popular, but I know someone made a custom Jerry Funko Pop, and it's like $90. So if you guys do have money, maybe try and see if you can get one of those. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get one. I don't have that kind of money. So let's see. Dan says that's why I thought Jerry was gonna die, but it's looking like I was wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's all right, Dan. I mean, like it's kind of hard sometimes to predict deaths in The Walking Dead because we know they don't follow the comic, and like sometimes like you know what I mean, like they make it obvious or like they show in the promo, and sometimes we don't see a character like there's no shots of Jerry in the promo, but like after the cave, but there's a picture of him after the cave, so like that's all we had pretty much. Let's see. That's Eastside Badge says my favorite Gabe scene was season 6, episode 16, when he told Rick that he would keep Alexandria safe. It was so yeah, I agree. Eastside Badger. That was nice. I definitely think I don't know. I feel like they could have used Father Gabriel more in the series, like a little bit better, because Father Gabriel never had that moment where he went guns blazing. I guess like he never like did something like Rick, where he fired a gun constantly. You know what I mean? I mean like Father Gabriel actually has not really even killed that many people. He's only killed like 3 people, and 11 years in Apocalypse, that's a pretty low, you know, kill counts. But I mean, yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to say, but I'm just saying like they never had like Father Gabriel. He was just captured in the all-out war, and he didn't get to do much. I did not like Father Gabriel's story in season 8. Season 7, it was good. Like it was pretty good. You know what I mean? But his story in season 8 got worse. Let's see. Eastside Badge says, "Truth be told, Jerry's comic shtick is getting old." Um, do you not like Jerry, Eastside Badger? I mean, I love Jerry. He's one of my favorite. He is one of my favorite characters introduced in season 7 that are still alive, if not pretty much the only character. Like, my favorite was like Benjamin from the Kingdom, but then they killed him off, and then it was Jerry. Like, so as far as like characters introduced in season 7, like he's probably like my most favorite that is still alive, because there's just him, Ezekiel, and Diane, and I guess Nabila, but she's kind of a, she's not really a character at the moment. So as far as like Jerry's comic shtick, I mean, he's a nice guy, you know what I mean? And unlike Tyrese, he actually killed someone on screen, Eastside Badger. So you got to remember that, I mean, the way Jerry used that axe, I mean, you do not want to be on that end of the axe. Let's see. Dan says, and Rick was like, "Yes, I'm good with leaving you in charge of Alexandra." Yeah, I mean, that was nice. Rick trusted him to keep Alexandra safe because it made sense. Like like Gabriel earned that trust because he kept Judith safe. Like if Gabriel did not leave with Judith when during No Way Out, when he did not if he did not go on off on his own with Judith, like I think Carl was holding Judith. Carl would have been holding on to Judith, and if he got shot by Ron, he would have landed on top of Judith, and he would have crushed her and killed her just like Laurie did in the comics. I mean, to be fair, actually, it was the shot that Lily did that killed Judith. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. Like Judith would be dead if Carl was shot and he was holding her. So yeah, let's see. Eastside Badger says. Eastside Badger says, I like Gabe better than Jerry. Jerry was great when Ezekiel was still the king, but now it's forced and his role just seems forced now. Not really, Eastside Badger. I mean, okay, I'll admit, yeah, he was like the right hand man of the king, and now Ezekiel's no longer the king. But the thing is, like, he doesn't have to be Ezekiel's sidekick. He can have his own identity, and he's not loyal. He's not 100% devoted to Ezekiel anymore. He has a family now. He's his own person now. His own character, his own individual. So I definitely think they could work, with him off that. Make him a different character. That's what's great about the show. Like that's why in a show you sometimes need to do characters have families because they need a new motivation in their lives. So, oh, sorry, my phone just buzzed, distracting me a little bit. But yeah, that's actually I like Jerry more than ever now because he has a new identity, a new purpose. He's not the king's sidekick, his soldier. He's a family guy, a family man. He's got a wife. He's got 3 kids. He has something to live for. And we definitely need him because Jerry's one of those most like very likable characters. And even though he's not been around for long, like he's very likable. Even though he hasn't been around a whole long, but like we need characters like that because if the show's going to go on for a long time, we just need that. Let's see. Sorry, I guess I kind of talked too much on that. Let's see. Eastside Badger says he's an aw shucks guy of the apocalypse. Yeah, kind of, but if you're trying to kill one of his friends or family, he doesn't aw shucks you. He acts shucks you. I don't know if that was a bad joke, but I went with it. Dan says he's still a fun character, but yeah, I get that. Yeah, I mean, he's a fun character, and not just that, Dan, but he's interesting, and he's pretty relatable. People in their 20s, when I see people watching The Walking Dead, they do not want Jerry to survive. I mean, sorry, they do not want Jerry to die. They want him to survive. Sorry, I said that wrong, but what I mean. They don't want him to die because, and also, we need some characters from the kingdom. What I mean. Scott Gimple went crazy killing off people from the communities, and like so besides Ezekiel, we have Jerry, Nabila, and Diane, and Jerry's wife and Diane are just pretty much not in the show at this point. Like they're so barely used or barely seen. So Jerry and Ezekiel, like think about it, they're the last guys from the kingdom pretty much. Let's see. Eastside Badger says the bigger question: why is Jerry not skinny? Is he hoarding all of the food? Dude has to weigh 350 pounds. That's fair, Eastside Badger. I mean, I don't know if it's that much. Like, I would say like maybe 260. But as far as why is Jerry not skinny? Well, I mean, the communities have. Okay, so one, the communities have plenty of food, so that is not an issue. As far as well, also like in Game of Thrones, like certain characters are fat, like Samuel Tarly, and they stay fat, constantly throughout the series and never lose weight. So, what I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, so one of them is it's the actor. He's not going to, you know, work out while he's acting, I suppose, in his free time. Not everyone's willing to do that. I mean, look at Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Negan is still skinny after all this time. Like if you think Jerry's fat and should be skinny, Negan should be bigger. So I'll counteract that. Like not everyone's the right shape that they should be in The Walking Dead. There should definitely be a lot more fit characters. I'll agree with you on that. But if Jerry can be fat, no, sorry, if Ezekiel, sorry, if Negan can be skinny, then Jerry can be fat. That's fair. Let's see. Dan says, I like how positive he is, though. That's why I like him so much. Yeah, I do too. And, like, I just miss that. I miss, like, having a likable, interesting, relatable character and having them survive. Like, I don't know what it is, but the show, did that with Noah, and then they killed him off, and then they did that with some characters from season 6, and they did that in season 7 with Benjamin. They did it with Henry. Like, I just don't like it when they kill off a character who has so much potential. Like, keep them around a little longer so that they can become a fan favorite. Like, that's what they should do. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, I like Negan's positivity better. It's real world. Jerry's positivity is more comic booky. Yeah, I'm sorry, Eastside Badger, but I disagree with you on that. Negan was very. People found Negan very cringy. You know what I mean? Like, he bashes people, stabs them, and he makes jokes, but Jerry makes jokes when it's an appropriate setting. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I go to church, and there are people like Jerry in my church. You know what I mean? They like making jokes here and there. Like, guys like Jerry, they go to my church. And that happens. Like, they're not comic booky. I actually disagree with you on that. Like his positivity is, sure, it's a little bit cringy, but you gotta admit, like, Jerry hasn't been like doing those jokes in a while. Like, he's been pretty focused lately. So let's see. Dan says, yeah, he should have been in the comics. He should have been in the comics more than Princess. I'll say that, Dan. Eastside Badger says they have vegetables and fruit. They're eating carbs, and it's like 100 degrees with 90% humidity in Virginia. He would sweat those pounds off. I mean, yeah, kind of, Eastside Badger, but the thing is, I mean, obviously the communities. Here's the thing, though. The communities, obviously, they have, bread. They can make bread, and they have meat. You know, like, and not only that, but they also. I'm pretty sure they make pies and stuff, even though we've probably never seen it. Like, it's all happening off screen. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things you got to think about, just a little bit. But as far as, like, yeah, well, the thing is, like, the weather. I mean, you never know with the weather in Virginia in The Walking Dead. But I mean, sure. But the thing is, in The Walking Dead, sometimes time does not move too fast. You know what I mean? Like, they've only been dealing with the Whisperers. Like, season 10A is only like 4 days or something. You know what I mean? So not a lot of time is passing. Let's see. Dan says Negan in the show is fun, though, in my opinion. The third best character in the show right now. Yeah, I mean, right now, Dan. But like, earlier in the seasons, he was pretty bad as a character. I mean, they had him do the double kill, which was a mistake in the season 7 premiere, and then Negan was just so skinny, and they had him make stupid decisions and just a whole lot of things. And then they made Simon the villain in season 8, and just, I don't know, it was kind of weird. Let's see. Dan says Daryl and Michonne first, though. Yeah, yeah. I feel. Yeah, Dan. I'm sorry that. I mean, Michonne is leaving. Like, Michonne's my first favorite character, but like, she's leaving, and then I know you said in your video earlier today that you think Jeffrey Dean Morgan is gonna stick with the show until the very end, but I don't know why. I just feel like Negan might leave when Maggie returns. Like, I can see maybe a season later after Maggie returns, but I can't see like Negan and Maggie coexisting for more than a season. I just don't know. I just don't think Maggie can do it. So yeah, let's see. Let's see. We're all cut up now. I'm gonna take a quick sip of water. Yeah, I wish Epic Zombie Killer was here. He helps the stream go a little faster. We've been going on for about 54 minutes now. Oh, let's see. Eastside Badger says, "Come back, Michonne." Yeah, I wish, Eastside Badger, but it's not gonna happen. Danai Gurira said that she was done with the show after her final episode, I believe, and that's just crazy. That's sad. I mean, I just don't get it. Like, is it just the Marvel movies? Or I know she wants to become a writer or something, but I don't know. It's just, man, if only they can make it last, like, you know, like just to season 12, like, or just like film out of order again. You know what I mean? Like they did for Michonne in season 10. I said that last live stream. Dan says if season 12 is the end, I think Jeffrey will stay till the end. Yeah, I agree. Well, I think so too, Dan. It's just, yeah, I don't know why, but I just can't see Maggie how the Maggie Negan thing will work. Eastside Badger says JDM will stay on The Walking Dead till the end. IMO, he's really good friends with Reedus. Yeah, that's true, Eastside Badger, but the thing is, like, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is very sought after. Like, a lot of movies and studios want him, so it's possible that he might get offered a role, and he might sign up for it. So who knows? And like I said before, I just don't see how him and Maggie can coexist. Like, if Maggie sees him, she might just pull a gun and kill him. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, plus, like, also, I don't think Jeffrey D. Morgan is on contract anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I know that Norman and Melissa re-signed their contract for season 12, but no other actor has done that in the show, so they could honestly just kill him off. I just don't know. Dan says that too. Yeah. By the way, guys, just so you know, I think I'm gonna end the stream a little early tonight. I might. We're at 56 minutes now. I'm not ending it yet, but it's just, yeah, it's just there's only like a few of us tonight, and it looks like King Ken 214 left early, and also Epic Zombie Killer is in here. So I just want to say that I might end the stream a little sooner than normally. Let's see. Eastside Badger says I want to see Negan Lucille someone. He could solve the Maggie problem. Not sure what you mean, Eastside Badger. If he Lucille someone, first off, Lucille's gone. She's dead. And as far as the Maggie problem, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But if he Lucille someone, Maggie is gonna flip out. Let's see. Dan says me and Eastside are obsessed with Negan's character. If you couldn't tell, no, no, I could tell, Dan. Yeah, I mean, Negan has had a pretty good arc in the show. Like, not in the previous seasons, obviously, but like as far as what they were doing with his redemption arc. But the problem is that Negan like never. Okay, so Negan needs to make it up to Maggie and Herschel. You know what I mean? Like, Negan's redemption arc is for the fans, but also to the characters. Maggie has not been around for years, so when she comes back, Maggie, needs to, like, Negan needs to make it up to her. You know what I mean? And to Herschel. More than the other characters, and he hasn't even done that yet. So that's going to be a big challenge for him. Let's see. Dan says, "LOL." Eastside Badge says, Maggie probably has a new dude by now. It's definitely possible, Eastside Badger. I mean, it's been like 7 years since Rick disappeared, so who knows? Eastside Badger says, probably more than one. Oh, you mean probably more than one guy. That would make things very confusing for Herschel. Like, if he would have like two fathers. So that would be pretty weird. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't see that happening. Maggie was like, they didn't do that with Dante, so I cannot see them doing it with Maggie. Let's see. Um. Oh, by the way, do you guys think do you guys think that they're gonna kill off Gage this season? And if you guys don't know, Gage is that teen from the hilltop who he lost his friends, and he's the only survivor from that group of teenagers from the hilltop. He's got brown curly hair, yeah, and he wears like armor. He was with Laura killing walkers, and he said like in the season 10 premiere that they should put the Whisperers' heads on spikes. And he attacked Lydia, although he was hesitant. Like, do you think they're gonna kill him off this season? And I'm not saying like I care. I'm just saying, like, do you know what they're exactly doing? Like, because I don't know. I'm surprised he lasted this long. Dan says Negan is not scared of Maggie though. He feels bad, I'm sure, but he's not scared of her. He's not even scared of Alpha. Yeah, that's true, Dan. It's just sorry. It's just that Maggie might have power now because she's been gone a while. She's been with Georgie and maybe the Commonwealth. I just don't know. I mean, Ronnie Hayes doesn't think so, but Maggie has got to have been with the Commonwealth or something. I just don't understand what else it could be. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, we don't know if Herschel 2 will even be in The Walking Dead. Oh, no, no. He will be Eastside Badger. If we do not get Herschel back in the show, first off, Herschel Jr. needs to come back to The Walking Dead because his mother. Okay, first off, he's only 8 years old. If his mother left him there, okay, I'm gonna have a huge fit with Maggie. How do you leave your child there? You know what I mean? I mean, that's just. Just don't even get me started on that. And plus, we need Herschel Jr. if the show is gonna last longer. You know, like he is a needed character. You know, I mean, he's the son of Glenn. You gotta have him in. You know, for those fans who want to see him. Let's see. Plus, he's got to see Negan. He's got to see the man who killed his father, who made him half an orphan. It's got to happen. You know, they never did that in the comics. They got to do it in the show. That's one thing that's a big mistake in the comic, and I hope they don't do it in the show. And you say Negan wouldn't fear Maggie at all. Yeah, but okay. So Issa Badger. The thing is, so unlike Alpha, like Maggie might have a pistol or like a gun. I know Alpha had a gun, but doesn't seem like she has that anymore. Like the thing with Maggie is like she might have power now. You know what I mean? So Negan is in a different situation. Like Alpha, she didn't. She was the leader, but Beta really had the power in the group. So yeah, Dan says couldn't agree more. Yeah, I get why you guys think Negan's not scared of Maggie. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Maggie is still just gonna freak out and try to kill Negan or something because the deal was that Negan would stay in the cell, and obviously that didn't happen. But to be fair, I gotta, I gotta say like Maggie definitely missed her chance several times to kill Negan, and in a way, her last chance was the episode, you know, season 9, episode 5. So yeah, let's see. Eastside Badge says, but Herschel Jr. could be like 5 feet tall and have pencil arms. I mean, Glenn. Um, wait, what do you mean? Okay, I'm kind of confused. Eastside Badger. Herschel Jr. is 8 years old now, and 5 feet tall. That's a little tall, and have pencil arms. I mean, Glenn. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, so Eastside Badger, like, even if like Herschel Jr. is not a strong survivor at this point in the story, they could still do something with him. You know what I mean? Like maybe all his life, Maggie told him that he's half an orphan. Like his father died because of this man Negan, and they could have it where Herschel eventually finally meets the man who killed his father, and he tries to kill Negan. Like maybe he steals a gun and tries to kill Negan to make his mother proud of him. You know what I mean? Like they could do anything in the story. I mean, it just depends. Eastside Badger says Glenn almost got beat up by Lori. Um, can you remind me of that? Cause I don't remember that at all. Eastside Badger, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't remember that at all. Please refresh my memory. Dan says, if Maggie leaves her kid with Georgie, I'll be super upset with her too. Yeah, I mean, like seriously, like leaving her group for years and then, you know, like doing who knows what, and then leaving her child, you know, like with Georgie. I mean, just why? Like none of it makes sense. Like I mean, it's just crazy. The thing is, if Maggie does come back in the story, oh, when she comes back, she needs to have a group with her, an army, like because she wouldn't be traveling alone. You know what I mean? However far Georgie's community is from Alexandria, the hilltop, Maggie cannot be traveling alone. You know, there's no way Maggie would travel with just her 8-year-old son, in an apocalypse-filled world. So most likely there's going to be other characters that they're going to introduce with her. You know, like I don't know if she's going to have Commonwealth soldiers with her, but she's got to have someone, you know, or some more people. So yeah, let's see. Let's see. When do you guys want to end the stream tonight? Okay, let's see. Eastside Badger says the pregnancy test in season 2. He was going to talk to Lori. and Lori gave him a look and he shut up. Yeah, that Eastside Badger, that is completely different than Glenn almost getting beat up by Lori. Like this, it was a very personal matter, and Lori was giving him a look because it's personal, and he doesn't want to. She doesn't want to talk about it. And Glenn is a nice guy, so he decided to keep his mouth shut. That is not at all the same as he almost got beat up by Lori. First off, Glenn has done some pretty amazing things. Okay, I mean, let's not forget he stayed loyal to the group when Merle tortured him. Let's not forget he killed a walker strapped to a chair, and he at least got into a decent fight with Abraham. So Glenn has had his moments in the story. Like Glenn is not weak. He was not a weak survivor. You know what I mean? He was a tough survivor. Let's see. Yeah, that's yeah, I definitely think I wanna. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I mean, I appreciate you guys who sticked around, but I don't know, something about the stream tonight just it doesn't feel the same. I don't know. I'm not sure when I want to end it, but I definitely don't think I want to hit the 2 hour mark tonight. Let's see. Eastside Badger says Lori could have taken him. No, she couldn't have. Eastside Badger. Lori has probably the most skinniest arms out of any character in The Walking Dead. Like Lori was a stick. You know what I mean? There is no way Lori could have beaten up Glenn. First off, Glenn, he fought some characters. Let's not forget that. He fought Merle, Abraham. I mean, he's been there. You know what I mean? Just Lori, she hasn't fought anyone, you know? I mean, come on, Eastside Badger. Don't say that about Glenn. Glenn was like the best or one of the best characters. I mean, come on. And Lori was one of the worst. I mean, just please don't disrespect Glenn. Let's see. Dan says, imagine Maggie just walking on her own, knocks on the gates, and says, "What's up, guys?" I laugh so hard at that. Yeah, she would probably. Yeah, I remember saying something like, Maggie is looking at Alexandria, it gets overrun, and she's like, well, I'm going back. Let's see. Dan says, Epic Zombie Killer isn't here either, unfortunately. Yeah, I know, Dan. I wish he was. I don't know how long I can keep the stream going with just, us three. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, I was joking, lol. Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling, but it's just Lori was just still just one of the worst characters, and you know what I mean. And Glenn was one of the best, and you know what I mean. Like it's just I get you know what I mean. Just it's kind of like personal. I get passionate about it because like I could like not stand Lori in season 2, but like Glenn is like one of the few characters I was pretty much always with from all the seasons. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just yeah, I mean yeah, I'm glad you were joking. I had a feeling you were. I just yeah, I just miss Glenn so much. I just man, I wish he was still alive on the show. I would love to see that. Let's see. Dan says, imagine Beta versus Glenn. I mean, I would actually, if Glenn was still alive, I actually would very much like to see that, Dan. In a way, like Glenn would have to be a completely different character. Like he would have had to learn some martial arts or something from Paul, and you know what I mean. Like imagine Glenn with like a kind of beard like Jerry has. You know what I mean? Just a different character and much tougher character. You know what I mean? Just I don't know. Like that could have been interesting, but yeah, Glenn would definitely. Obviously, he would still lose that fight, but I mean, if Glenn was still alive, I think he would, do some decent. Like, I mean, look at Daryl. Like Daryl held his own against Beta. I think Glenn, if he was still alive in the story, and he would be a lot tougher, and he would probably do some damage. But yeah, as far as I don't know, like Daryl is. I don't know if he's more agile than Glenn. He's probably more agile, but Glenn is quicker. I think so. It's kind of hard to say. Daryl's taller than Glenn, so I think Glenn's quicker. It's kind of yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's like a death battle. It's kind of hard to predict. I mean, man, I would love to see that. I pay money. Well, what money I do have. Let's see. Eastside Badge says, imagine Beta whipping Daryl's. Yeah, I mean, besides Rick fighting Shane in season 2, like Rick has. Okay, Rick did hit Tyrese, like he did punch him out, but that wasn't really a fight. Like Rick has pretty much lost every fight in the show that he's been in. You know what I mean? Like like Rick lost against the governor. He kind of lost against Pete in a way. I mean, it was kind of a tie, I guess you can say. I'm sure he was choking him, but Pete did some massive damage to Rick's face. I mean, like seriously. And as far as plus, he was also choking Rick somewhat. As far as Negan, Rick lost every fight with Negan. I mean, for Pete's sake, like, come on, Rick really did terrible against Negan. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Beta would destroy Rick, absolutely. I don't know. Rick just was heavily like, into his gun. He didn't really have any other skills. Let's see. Dan says they should have killed Maggie and kept Glenn. At least Steven probably would have left for some. Oh, at least Steven probably. Okay, you're saying probably wouldn't have left for some stupid crime show. LOL. I mean, I know that Dan. I know that Steven wanted his comic book death, but I doubt that he would have left the show if he didn't get it. And like, I don't know. I just wouldn't have killed off Glenn. You know what I mean? I just would have had him be that character who sticked around pretty much through the very end of the show. So I don't know. As far as killing off Maggie, if you kill off Maggie, then you kill off Herschel Jr. So that's a bit of an issue. That's the one issue, like with killing off Maggie at the lineup, just because I don't know. It kind of doesn't work. But one thing I will say is I don't know. It just that would have been pretty cool in the show if like Glenn was at the hilltop with Herschel Jr. and Maggie was gone, like she was at the Commonwealth. Like that would be kind of interesting. And you say wouldn't have. I mean, yeah, I know, Dan. Don't worry. Eastside Badger says Rick is like 2 to 4 in fights. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like, oh, hey, Epic. Oh, hold on, Eastside Badger. Yeah, Rick has pretty much lost every fight he's been in, especially the ones with Negan. Let's see, Epic Zombie. Hey, Epic Zombie Killer. He says, "Hey, sorry I'm late." And Dan says, "Hey, Epic. Yeah, hey, Epic. I'm glad you made it. I was thinking about ending the stream really soon, but I'm glad you're here. You know, uh, I definitely think we need some help keeping the stream going. We had a guy earlier here, King Ken 214, but yeah, that didn't really work out. I mean, it worked out. He just left early. Let's see. Eastside Badger says Glenn and Maggie could be the leaders of The Walking Dead right now if Gimp hadn't went that route. Yeah, I agree, Eastside Badger. I don't know what it is. Just like, I mean, like you can still have Maggie be the leader of the Hilltop, but like after she leaves to go to the Commonwealth, like you could have Glenn as the new leader of the Hilltop, and you keep Herschel Jr. in the story. You know what I mean, with Glenn. Like imagine seeing a much different Glenn in season 9 or 10. You know what I mean? Because like we never got that in the comic. I don't know. Like I think the show should not only follow the comic, but it should give us parts like things we never got to see. Like what if this character didn't actually die here? Like what if they survived? And I think Glenn was definitely one of those characters that should have survived. And we see how he grows after his almost comic death. You know what I mean? Or yeah, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Eastside Badge says, "Hey, Epic," and Dan says, "Yeah, agreed." Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know that's like I said. I know that Steven wanted his comic book death, but I would just keep him alive, still in the show now. So, like, I don't know if, like, during season 6, 7. I mean, I don't know if he would have stayed longer, but I like to think he would have, and I just would have paid him more. Honestly, they should have honestly just done one death in the premiere for season 7, and they just should have had that be it. So yeah, let's see. Do you guys? Let's see. Okay, do you guys think Luke is gonna die? I think that, for the most part, I think that just Gabriel, Alpha, Gamma are gonna die in the second half of season 10. Epic says, "Hey Brian, apparently Jerry survives. AMC released a photo of him with Ezekiel at Hilltop." Yeah, I know, Epic. We discussed that earlier, and someone told me that AMC took down the picture and then re-released it with the Jerry part cropped out. So obviously AMC made a mistake, and I don't know how you can make a mistake like that. I mean, it's pretty bad, but like as far as Jerry surviving, yeah, I know Jerry survives. So now I'm thinking it's either Magna or Connie that dies in the caves. and I'll be like crazy shocked if it was both of them. But I think it's just gonna be one of them. But I just don't know who, because sorry, people are saying that Magna dies, and people are saying that Connie dies, and it kind of looks like that in the promo too. So I'm just like, I don't know who it's gonna be. I'm like, I'm so glad like I was able to stay out of spoilers, because man, this has just been tough. This wait has been unbearable. I mean, just crazy. Let's see. Yeah, and Epic, do you like Jerry as a character? I know that Eastside Badger said earlier that Jerry's kind of a bland character right now. Like, they don't really know what to do with him. But I don't know. I think that he's a needed character in the story because he's interesting, relatable, and I think I'm more interested in him now than I've ever been, because we know that Ezekiel's going to go to the Commonwealth with Eugene and Yumiko. So now I think that Jerry's more interesting because now he has his own identity without the king. Now he's a family man and he has new purpose in life. So let's see. Dan says Jerry survives. I'm so happy because I was so upset when I thought he was going to die. Yeah, same. And Eastside Badger says no one's dying in the caves. It was a dumpster type uh, takeout. I guess you meant fake out. Yeah, I think it's very possible, Eastside Badger. You're definitely probably right about that. It could definitely just be a fake out, but I really don't want The Walking Dead to do fake outs anymore, or dumpster fake outs, because they did it with Glenn. I mean, they did it with the Morgan season 5 death cliffhanger, and they looks like they're doing it again, possibly. And I'm not saying like you don't have to have characters die, but when you set up a scene where a character dies and none of them do die, it is a bit of a fake out. So let's see. I'm gonna take another sip of water real quick. Yeah, I do not like fake outs. Any story that does a fake out or the character death, just I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea. Dan says, "Do you think someone could get bit from the cave, almost like Andrew's death, but different?" That's a very good question, Dan. I don't know. The thing is, okay, so the thing is that the characters are probably going to be trapped in that cave for like a day. And the thing is, if someone gets bit in that cave, they're probably going to die in that cave, because I can't see anyone getting bit and crawling out of the cave. Because, I don't know, like, look what happened with Carl. Carl got bit a couple hours later. He was in the sewer and he couldn't even get out of it. Like, he couldn't even climb up the sewer. So it's kind of weird. As far as like Andrea's death, I thought Ezekiel was going to get Andrea's comic death, but it looks like that's not going to happen because he's going to the Commonwealth. And as far as someone getting bit, I don't know, Dan. That's a very good question. Very good question. I mean, I just can't see. Okay, so it's the characters that could get it. It's either going to be Connie or Magna, and I just don't see Connie getting it because she can't talk like Andrea did in the comic. And Magna, we don't really care about her, so I just don't know, Dan. I'm at a loss. So yeah, let's see. Eastside Badger says, "I bet there will be no deaths until episode 14 or later." Oh wow, Eastside Badger, I hope not. You could be right, but I hope not. Like, we need Alpha's death, Gabriel's death, and another death like around those times. So like Alpha's death, it's got to come in like episode 10 or something. As far as Gabriel's, it's got to be like maybe 11 or something. If no one dies until episode 14 or later, I'm sorry, but Angela Kang is not writing season 10 as good as she could. You know what I mean? Let's see. Eastside Badge says, "I bet they get saved at the last minute, Fear style." Could be Eastside Badger, but the thing is that this isn't Fear the Walking Dead. You know what I mean? This show is not afraid to kill off the main characters. You know what I mean? So like in Fear, the biggest death we had in Fear season 5 was Tom, who got a selfie death. You know what I mean? Like, and in the first half of season 10, sure, we only got the deaths of, Sadiq and Dante, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty obvious that, they're saving the big deaths for the second half. It's just so obvious. But as far as like a Fear style thing, I mean, it's possible that no one dies from, the cave, but we don't see Connie or Magna anywhere in the pictures or the shots for the second half of season 10, so I just don't know where they can be. Let's see. Dan says, "Please let it be Magna." Yeah, I just don't know what it is, but I was thinking about this earlier. Like I don't know the actress, but Magna is, the actress from Magna was just not a good casting. I just think they didn't cast Magna right. They should have got someone else, and it just doesn't work. Magna's supposed to be likable. She's supposed to be like a female Rick. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it's kind of hard to explain, like what season Rick, but she's supposed to be like a female Rick. But Magna's not like that. She's just, I don't know what she is. Let's see. Epic says, I don't care about Magna if I'm honest. Yeah, I agree. Dan says, me neither. And Eastside Badger says, agreed, Epic. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much unanimous. None of us like Magna in the show. And that's just crazy. We were all looking forward to Magna in the first half of season 9. We were like, Rick's gone. Oh my gosh, Magna and her group is here. And when we got introduced to him, we were a little bit like, okay, Magna is, not that interesting. Connie's okay, and Yumiko is like, she's okay. Like, and Kelly, like, no one cares, and Luke was like, fine, I guess. But they got a little bit better, but Magna got worse. Let's see. Also, like, does anyone know if the actress from Magna is doing anything right now? Like a different role or something? Because that might be a sign they killed her off. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, we haven't had a serious death since Paul. The Pike victims were minor at best. They would have. There have been no major deaths in a long time. I don't know, Eastside Badger. So, okay, besides Paul, Henry was kind of a big death, just because they were setting him up as the next Carl. And don't forget, there was Enid and Tara too. And I think they should have killed off Ezekiel, obviously, but they killed off Tara, Enid, and Henry, and those are kind of major. Tara has to be kind of major. Let's see. Eastside Badge says Henry was about it, and I hardly remember him. And Dan says Sadiq was pretty crazy. Yeah, Sadiq's death was pretty crazy, and that's just so tragic that he died in his last moments on Earth. He's being held down by the same man who held him down during that scene, and I don't know if it was said, but I think like as Sadiq was dying, he was just reliving the barn like scene, and that was just, you know what I mean. So like it's kind of like the Hodor thing from Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? If you guys know what I'm talking about, like he was reliving that moment of his life in his death. You know what I mean? The most tragic part of his life in his death. So I heard something like that, or maybe I came up with it. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, I mean that was just intense. Epic says, "Hey Brian, they need to stop doing crossovers. It's not working." Yes, I agree, Epic, but the thing is, okay, so they need to do one last crossover, I think. And that's what ending Fear the Walking Dead and just taking the characters either into the Rick movies or the world beyond. Just something like that. And as far as that, like just no more crossovers after that. Like the Morgan crossover did not work, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. And the Dwight crossover was honestly worse. Like, what does taking Dwight out of the main show do for, like, what does it do for anyone? Like, and they made Dwight a pacifist, and he's like, you know what I mean? Like, just, like, what does that do? Like, I just don't know what happened with Dwight. They made him a pacifist, and he wants to redo the wrongs he did. Like, Dwight has, besides finding Sherry, like, Dwight doesn't have to make up for anything. He paid his dues. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, I should have said Paul. My apologies. There is only one Jesus. Yes, that's true. Thank you, Eastside Badger. Yeah, I mean, I'm Christian, so I only call him Paul. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, so, yeah. But as far as, him as a character, yeah, I really like Paul as a character. And, I mean, it's just a show, and I think people, like, called him Jesus in both the comic and the show simply because they could never remember his real name, and it wasn't a big deal. Like, I mean, it wasn't like a huge deal because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, at least, they didn't, I mean, they just said the first name, you know what I mean? It's not like they said Christ or anything. But, yeah, but that's pretty much it. Let's see. Dan says it's making things worse to do more crossovers. Yeah, it kind of is, Dan. I think they should just do one more crossover, and that's just ending Fear the Walking Dead and having the characters in one of the properties of The Walking Dead, and just making it better. Like get better writers, and just do a better job. Eastside Badger says Sadiq wasn't a major character though. Geez, Merle was bigger than him. Yeah, that's true. I'll agree with you out in there, Eastside Badger. Merle was bigger than Sadiq, and I did not like Sadiq too much, but they definitely were fleshing him out in the first half, and they gave him such a tragic. He was just such a tragic character, though. He had no one throughout the whole apocalypse, and then Carl, gave him mercy, and then Carl died, and then people didn't like him, like Rick. They kind of hated Sadiq, and then Sadiq became a doctor, started earning his keep. I mean, he delivered Herschel Jr., I think, when Maggie was giving birth, and then he also delivered his own baby. But before that, he had to, experience the most traumatic moment of his life, and and then he died. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Like Sadiq, he wasn't a major character, but he was definitely just like a tragic character. Let's see. Dan says Merle was awesome. So many people hate him, and I get it, but for me, he was so entertaining. Yeah, yeah, Merle was pretty entertaining. I'll agree, Dan. But there were some times like I didn't like Merle, and his death was pretty good though. Like it was like crazy when it happened. Epic says, like, I don't get it. They crossed Morgan over to Fear, killed Madison, only to do a Morgan death cliffhanger in Fear super dumb. I'm guessing you're saying Fear is super dumb and a waste. Yeah, I agree, Epic. I mean, you like, you can write a better story. Like I know you can than these writers in Fear. I have complete faith in you guys more than the writers. I just don't understand it. What they're doing. The writers of Fear. I just don't know. It's like they taking a character and replacing him with this character. It's not working. Then they kill them off, and it's like I just don't know what they're doing. They really got to start writing better. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, "Love me some Merle." Yeah, I know, Eastside Badger. Let's see. Dan says, "I wish Negan and Merle could have met. Just imagine that." Yeah, although if Merle was in the lineup, like Negan might have killed him like he killed Abraham because you know he could see Merle as a threat. Or he probably would have said something like, "Is that a blade on your arm? That is so cool." Like Negan probably would have said something like that. Let's see. Eastside Badger says Rosita and Sadiq relationship never seemed right to me though. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I'll admit. I think I think they pretty much said it that it was just a fling. Like they pretty much got to know each other a little bit, but then they decided it wasn't going to work out, and then it was too late. She was already pregnant, and yeah, that's why you need to be careful with relationships. You don't want issues like that. Dan says her and Gabriel either though. To be honest, yeah, I agree, Dan. When Father Gabriel went from Jadis to Rosita, I was like, whoa, what did Father Gabriel do and how can I do that? You know what I mean? Like he got game all of a sudden, you know what I mean, with the ladies. It just made no sense. Um, it just came out of nowhere. I'm just like, what? Like, it's crazy. It's just I don't know. It did seem a little bit forced here and there. I'm just like, man, like Rosita will be with anyone but Daryl and Eugene. Like she will never be with them. I mean, geez, like come on, Rosita. Like I get that Daryl smells, but Father Gabriel, like I don't know. And she even likes Eugene, like is starting to. So it's just like what? Let's see. Eastside Badger says Negan and Merle so much. Yes, yeah, I bet you would pay money for that, Eastside Badger. Not sure I would, but to each his own. Eastside Badger says, "True Dan, true Rosita and Negan just seems right." Uh, as a couple, definitely not Eastside Badger, definitely not. And Dan says, "Well, Negan thought about it in season 7, episode 4." Yeah, that's probably true. I think I remember that. Epic says, like, I don't get why AMC hired these super bad showrunners for Fear the Walking Dead shows. I don't get it. The only thing I can think of, Epic, is that they have a writing degree and we don't. And I'm sorry, but that is just the dumbest excuse ever. Like sure, your resume might or your job degree, whatever you have might say you're qualified to write this story, but it's pretty obvious that the way they're doing it is not working. Like seriously, I don't have a writing degree. Like like I did not so good in writing in college, but I still can write better than these writers. Like give me a script, like give me the fear scripts and I will make corrections and fix them. You know what I mean? I just don't know either. Eastside Badger says Negan has always had good taste. Yeah, I agree, Eastside Badger. Let's see, and you say I agree. Epic AMC probably went off Craigslist to find these showrunners for Fear. I mean, maybe Eastside Badger. I don't know. They got to get more passionate people. Like they got to get fan feedback or something. Like seriously, like I like to pride myself on this channel being an honest channel with, Walking Dead YouTubers who know what quality is. And I think you guys can honestly write better than these writers. It's sad, but it's true. You know what I mean? Dan says, Epic, it's like they want Fear to be bad to make the original Walking Dead look better. LOL. Yeah, I don't know, Dan. Maybe it's like a secret agenda they have. Let's see. Epic says, like these two showrunners for Fear have to be the most hated showrunners in the franchise. They have to be. Well, them and Gimple, like they're definitely like in the top 5. They gotta be. Let's see. Dan says, just imagine the 4 of us writing Fear season 6. We would get some cash. Yeah, yes, Dan, absolutely. We would definitely make some serious cash. Writing. Just think about it. The 4 of us just writing a whole season of Fear season 6. Like, man, like come on, AMC. Like I know they're not gonna listen to this stream, but just get us like to help write Fear season 6. Come on. Yeah, absolutely, Dan. That would be amazing. Come on. We know what the fans want because we are the fans. It just makes the most sense. Like you're not gonna have, at least we're not gonna do a death cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Just like a dumb fake out. Like at least we wouldn't do something like that. Like I don't think any of us would have done that for season 5, or especially the Tom selfie death. Like just, oh, I don't even want to get started on that. Hey, by the way, Dan, how is your comic going? I didn't really hear too much about your comic lately. World Gone Mad. How's it going, by the way, with that comic? Any new changes? Let's see. Eastside Badger says they are epic easily. Yeah, like the top, like Gimple has got to be up there too. Like these two showrunners are these two Fear showrunners, and then Gimple might be like third. And you say we would do great, Dan. Morgan wouldn't like it. Morgan wouldn't like it though. He would actually be a man if we were willing to write it. Yeah, exactly, Eastside Badger. Like we would write it to where Morgan he stops being a pacifist. He goes like clear mode or somewhere in between, like killing and not killing, and that would make him more interesting, relatable. But obviously the showrunners are not going to do that, and I don't know. Seriously, making Morgan the same character for 2 seasons, season 4 and 5, like not a single change, and he's not learning from his mistakes. Like I just don't know. Like why are they doing that? It just feels stale. Like Morgan feels like a very stale character. The first half of season 4, that was actually really good. Where I love the scene where Morgan is trying to convince Alicia not to kill June. You know what I mean? Because that's such an amazing scene. Like I actually put it on my liked videos because I just love that scene so much. Alicia's acting is amazing. Morgan's acting is really good. Lenny James' acting, and like that scene is very well done. Like that's a very well done scene. But you still didn't need to kill off Madison, and you didn't have to have Morgan try to convince every person that tried to kill them, to stop trying to kill him. It's just come on. Let's see. Dan says still working on it, but I've been so busy lately that I've just had no time to make more art for it. So it's still coming, just taking a while. Okay, Dan. All right. Well, thanks for the update, and yeah. When is the first? I forgot. The first issue wasn't out, right? Do you? Was that delayed? Let's see. Eastside Badger says the pacification of Morgan Jones is ruining his legacy in the Walking Dead universe. It's not just ruining his legacy; it's ruining Alicia's, Strand's, Dwight's, John's, like so many characters. Every character in Fear is becoming a pacifist. Like think about the main show. Like right now in the Walking Dead show, Jerry is not a pacifist. Magna is not. Carol is not. Connie is not. Aaron is not. Daryl is not. Like none of these characters are pacifists. None of them. But they're not willing to kill certain characters. Like they wouldn't kill a child. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't kill Alpha if they were in a situation where she might kill them. You know what I mean? Except for Carol. Like they're different. Like each character is different, but they're also very similar. Making the characters pacifists in Fear is just ruining it. Let's see. Epic says, like if I was writing Fear, I'd have season 6 be the final season and give everyone a happy ending. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely better than what we got at the end of season 5, because once again, they're splitting up the characters. I mean, like I would maybe have like the characters go into the Rick movies or the World Beyond, but that's a good third option. I'll admit, Epic, like that's a good option if there's no other choice. Let's see. Eastside Badge says, looking forward to it, Dan. And you say Clear Morgan is much more interesting. Yeah, he's much more interesting. Although, like I said, I don't like it when he goes too clear. Like, it gets a little bit annoying after a while. But they definitely need to find a middle ground with Morgan. Dan says, I would have Morgan be normal, kill people, but not clear mode, just be normal. Kill when it's right to, but save people when it's time, but not often. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Like Jerry, a character who he doesn't go around just absolutely killing everyone in sight like Morgan did in clear mode, but like he knows when to kill when someone's attacking your friends or family. You know what I mean? So exactly like him. So yeah, well said. And Eastside Batter says, if Alicia dies, we riot. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just give me 1 second, guys. Let's see. All right, there we go. Let's see. Epic says, if I was writing Fear Season 4, I'd have it look like Madison died, only for the group to find her later on and have her find out Nick, then I have her get a grudge against Charlie. Yeah, exactly, Epic. I've said it before on this channel. One of the things I would have done is after, so like I guess I would still do the time skip, but one of the things, so if I was writing season 4, I would do that, but I would add an interesting story where Alicia is looking for, she's looking for someone, and then we find out that like Alicia got pregnant from Jake in season 3, and obviously with a time skip, she already gave birth, and we start wondering like what happened to her child, you know what I mean? And like that's basically like the first half. She believes like Nick dies. She thinks Madison's dead, but she wants to find her son, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I would basically like add that to Alicia, like you know what I mean, like a goal for her, like just to, because like when Jake died in season 3, like I feel like there should have been something to carry on to season 4. So if Alicia did get pregnant, I would have had that story carry on, like you know what I mean, just have an impact. You know what I mean, like the relationship. I would have the relationship between Alicia and Jake matter. So that's how I would have it matter in season 4. She gets pregnant, has a son, and they get separated when the dam falls. And like Madison, she was able to take, you know what I mean, like maybe she was able to take, you know, her grandson with her. And Alicia thinks that Madison died, but that they have her kid. So I would basically have that be her story. And as far as Nick, yeah, as far as Nick dying, I would still do that. And as far as the grudge against Charlie, absolutely. Like I would definitely do something like that. Like build it up over multiple seasons. Don't just resolve it in the first half. Let's see. And yeah, I said if Alicia dies, we ride. And Dan also says if Alicia dies, we ride. Absolutely. Epic. Eastside Badger says, imagine Alicia, Rosita, Lydia, and Gamma all in the same episode. I'm guessing you're putting them all together because you think they're the most attractive. I mean, like Alicia, Rosita, definitely. Lydia, I'm pretty sure she's too young. And Gamma, I don't know. I don't really find her pretty. I mean, I don't really find her like in the most attractive. Like as far as like Michonne is, I think she's better than Gamma. Mary, her name's Mary. Dan says Jake should have been in season 4. I kind of agree, Dan, but if Jake couldn't have been in season 4, then obviously, like, I would have, the situation where in the flashbacks we find out Alicia got pregnant from him, and that way something, carries from season 3 to 4. So if we couldn't have had a single character, from season 3 to 4, I would have done that. But yeah, Jake was pretty interesting, and Troy was also very interesting. But then they killed him off. And it's funny, like even though they made mistakes in season 3, like it still doesn't make season 4 too bad. I mean, like season 4 is bad, but like the first half is still pretty good. Could have used some improvements, and like season 3 was also very great. But even though they did a few mistakes, those like Jake dying or Troy dying didn't really ruin the season. But looking back on it, yeah, they definitely should have added more to fix these later seasons. Epic says, like if Alicia dies, then it proves that the showrunners don't care about the fans because they know she's the only thing keeping fans watching Fear. Yeah, Alicia is literally the only reason I'm still watching Fear. And even then, I'm just losing interest. They're making Alicia a painter now, and I just don't understand what they're doing. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, agreed, Epic. And Dan says, Eastside, that would be the best episode ever. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, I thought Lydia is over 18. Am I wrong? If I am, then my bad. Yeah, Eastside Badger. Yeah, Lydia is still a minor. She's at least 17 still, I think. So, yeah. Um, she was like 16 in season 9, and then now she's like 17. But yeah, the actress is like 19 or 20, but the character is younger, obviously. Dan says to Epic, the showrunners only want to make money. That's it. Yeah, exactly, Dan. They don't care about the quality, and I'm sorry, but they gotta be removed. They need to get people who don't care about the money. They care about, the fans, the quality of the series, and making the world feel realistic. Epic says, like Fear the Walking Dead died when Madison did at the stadium after she left, the show became garbage. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like the first half of season 4 was pretty good. They could have used some more improvements. Like I said, I would have. Oh wait, um, wait a minute. Why would these messages retracted? I didn't do that. Let's see. Um, no, I'm not gonna report. Put user in timeout. Hide user. Add moderator. Yeah, I didn't do that. Do you guys know why? Do you guys know why Eastside Badger's comments were retracted? I did not do that. Yeah, that was weird. Do you guys know what happened? Like I said, I didn't do that. Let's see. Epic says, oh yeah, I already read that. Yeah, Madison, the first half of season 4 was great. I still think they could have added some more to it, but the second half was just terrible. It was like running around, the whole Martha thing, that was just so bad. And season 5 was terrible too. The first half was not as good as the first half of season 4, but it was still pretty bad. And Eastside Badger says, I retracted them. Well, why did you retract them, Eastside Badger? They seemed fine to me. Did you say something that wasn't right? I don't know, just, I didn't see anything for, a reason they should have been retracted. Let's see. Okay. Alright, I have a question. Do you guys think that Yumiko, Eugene, and... Oh, wait. Eastside Badger says, felt bad about Lydia. Oh, okay, yeah. Um, I mean, I mean, it was a simple mistake, and it's not like you said anything too inappropriate. Or, you didn't say anything really appropriate, but... I mean, it's kind of hard to... Like, I thought Lydia was, like, 19. It was just weird. But she's like, yeah, she's still apparently, like, 17 or something in the show. Epic says, like Angela cares about the fans because she made season 9 amazing. She heard our complaints and fixed them, whereas Scott Gimple and the Fear Runners don't. Yeah, exactly, Epic. Although, as Eastside Badger pointed out, she did make some mistakes in the first half of season 10. She hyped up so many things, like the Michonne pointing Lucille at somebody and Michonne and Ezekiel kissing. There are certain things that Angela King did Like the Whisper bottle episode in episode 2 of the season, it was a mistake, and not killing off Alpha in the first half, maybe a bit of a mistake. There wasn't much. Like the first half was kind of slow. It was just build up, and she also is not doing a good job with Magna. So Angela King has made some mistakes in season 10. She made some in season 9, but most of them are minor. Season 10, it's looking a little bit more, but season 10 is still better than season 7 and 8, like without a doubt. As long as Angela Kang can make season 10 be amazing, like I definitely think that people will not say she's like basically a new Gimple. So yeah, let's see. We've been going on for about an hour and 45 minutes now. Let's see. Are you guys okay with ending it in around 15 minutes? Do you guys want to end it in 15 minutes? Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to think what I was about to say earlier. Oh yeah, it seems like in the promo picture we got from AMC, only Yumiko, Eugene, and Ezekiel are going to the Commonwealth. Now, in the comic books, they had Yumiko, Magna, Michonne, Eugene, and Siddiq go with them, but obviously Siddiq died in the show. Michonne left. I don't know. Why do you guys think Magna is not going with Yumiko to the Commonwealth? Because Magna went in the comic, but it doesn't look like she's doing it in the show. I don't know. That makes me think that she could die in the first half. So not the first half. Sorry, she could die in the cave or something. Issa Badge says King was great in season 9, epic, but 10A was a step back. If 10B is slow, she's in trouble. Yeah, I agree, Eastside Badger. Absolutely. I mean, like the first half of season 10, I can kind of understand why it was slow, but there's no reason for the second half to be slow. It's not like a whole season like Scott Gimple did in season 8. Just one half season of war. That's all we need. Not a whole season. Dan says, we wanted a winter episode for years. Scott never listened, but the first season she takes over and we get a winter episode. Thanks, Angela. Yeah, I'll admit, that was good. That she finally did a winter episode. Let's see. Epic says, like, if Alicia dies, then Fear is going to plummet. The ratings are going to crumble bad. I mean, can they crumble bad when they're already, pretty much crumbled, dust at this point, Epic? But, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, if Alicia dies, pretty much no one's going to watch Fear. Yeah, I'm willing to bet no one watches Fear anymore. Dan says, Season 10A could have and should have been better, though. Yeah, I agree, Dan. They definitely should have given us some more Whisper War stuff. Maybe Aaron or someone gets stabbed, like that happens in the comic. And they shouldn't have done the Whisper bottle episode. So yeah, we definitely needed more in the first half. Let's see. Eastside Badger says King did give us Winter, and that was great. Yeah, that was great, Eastside Badger. But I just think it could have been like perfect. I still wish like they did a little bit more with that Winter episode. Like I said before, so like she gave us, yeah, like that was great, the snow and everything, but it just would have been so awesome to get like other elements in the story, you know what I mean, like wolves and the people fighting over food in the sanctuary, just like a little bit more to add, you know to the story, like make the finale a little bit more exciting, just a little bit, because the finale was not amazing like episode 15, the calm before, because I love that episode. The fair episode was amazing. Just a red fair. I mean, that was crazy. Dan says, agreed, epic. And Eastside Badge says, ratings for Fear would fall to 252 viewers if Alicia dies. I mean, that's 252 viewers more than I thought it was going to be, Eastside Badger, but yeah, I definitely could see that. I mean, like they have like 1 million viewers now, pretty much, in Fear. Like, that's pretty much it. So if Alicia dies, like, that's it again. Even people who don't watch Fear, like, they kind of know Alicia, and we're like, yeah, I liked her, her character. I mean, obviously, people watch Fear. Sorry, people watch it, Fear only for Alicia for obvious reasons that I'm not going to go into, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, gotta catch up. Dan says, I hate when people hate on the original Walking Dead. I always defend my favorite show, but when people hate on Fear, I always join in. LOL. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll admit it. Fear is horrible. It's a horrible show right now. It's doing terrible.
would I say The Walking Dead in season 7 and 8? Would I say The Walking Dead is horrible? Kind of. I would say that. Like, it's definitely up there. Let's see. Eastside Badger says Kang needs 10B to be a grand slam. Absolutely, Eastside Badger. They need to finish up the Whisperers. They need to give us amazing character development, well done action, and they need to set up the Commonwealth really good. And they got to give us an amazing cliffhanger and no death cliffhangers. Nothing like that. Like characters can be in danger, sure, but no death cliffhangers. Epic says, like, if Alicia dies, then Fear is done because she's the heart. If you remove the heart, you're dead. So yeah, if they want a season 7, they better keep Alicia, but still hoping it's over after 6. Agreed, Epic. I just don't know what it is. Like, Fear is just not doing good right now. And yeah, I mean, you got to keep her around because she's an amazing character, and she's pretty much the few in that show. Dan says that's why people hated Glenn's death so much. That's definitely one of the reasons why people hated Glenn's death so much, Dan. One of the reasons is, you know, because it was Daryl who unintentionally caused it, and it was just done for shock value. And people did not just want to see Glenn die like that. Like in the comic, it kind of made sense. Glenn was not that big. He wasn't that big of a character. You know what I mean? He was not like. I mean, I guess you can say he was in top 5, but I mean, it's a comic. You can't do too much with it. So Glenn didn't really have that much development in the comic, but in the show, he had so much more. And they were really setting up Glenn to surpass his comic, counterpart, but they didn't have that happen. And oh, that was such a mistake. I really wish we could have seen Glenn. If Glenn was in the cave now, like that we have in the story, I would just love to see what his character would do. Eastside Badge says, if 10B is a bust, IMO AMC needs to take a year off, fire the top executives for The Walking Dead, and try a reboot with Nicotero in charge. Maybe. I mean, I don't know, Eastside Badger. They would have to cancel the Rick movies and Fear the Walking Dead and The World Beyond. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I don't know why, but I definitely do want to see a reboot of The Walking Dead at some point. I don't know, just get like a redo of the show. Just like take all those parts from the show. The thing is, in a reboot, you probably can't do Daryl, but you could still have other amazing characters, So it's kind of hard to say. Epic says, I agree, Dan. I just don't get why people hate on the original show. Like after season 7, people just began bashing it, and even season 8 and 10, they still do. Like if you hate the show, don't watch it. Stop complaining. I mean, it's okay to have some criticisms. So one of the things. So here's the thing, Epic. You can do criticisms, but you have to say why it's bad and what you would have done and why it's better. So like season 7 and season 8 were terrible seasons of the main show, and I give my reasons. I say, it had bad character development, it was very slow, the action was poorly done, they killed off the wrong characters, and I constantly tell you guys how I would have, done it better, and that makes sense. But in season 9 and 10, they just say something like, oh, the characters stink now. Like, they don't even give examples. Who? You know what I mean? They say the characters stink. Are they talking about the new characters? The old characters? Like, they're not explaining it. So I think, so when people complain about season 7 and 8, like, they had every reason to. But season 9 and 10, they have less of a reason, I'll admit. Dan says, yeah, half of them probably haven't even seen season 9 and how amazing it was. Yeah, Dan, if they don't watch an episode from beginning to end, they have no reason to complain about the show, stinking or not doing as good as it used to. Because, like, if you don't like the characters, and you can't say why, like Magna, I don't like her character. But Connie and Jerry and Aaron, I like their characters. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like, those people, they probably can't even find a positive thing to say about the show. So when I criticize the show or give it strong criticism, I talk about the good, I talk about the bad, I talk about what I would have done instead to improve it. Because if people say the show stinks, it should just get canceled, then it's like, why did they watch it? But if the people say the show is not doing as good as it could be, they have a valid argument. So yeah, uh, let's see. It seems we're all cut up now. Oh, let's see. Epic says like if they hate the show, then don't watch it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a difference between. I think there's a difference between like hating the show and just saying it's horrible. Like Fear season 4 and 5. Like Fear is a horrible show right now, but I still watch it because one, I want it to do better, and it could do better, and it's also Walking Dead. You know what I mean? So I'm still loyal to the show. And so as far as the main show is not horrible. You know, does it have not good characters sometimes? Absolutely, but it's not horrible. Dan says, now Fear on the other hand, that's different. Even us hardcore fans hate on Fear. That says something. LOL. Yeah, exactly, Dan. I mean, Fear is a horrible show. It's got some good characters, but it's a horrible show because it has bad writing. It's made tons of bad decisions, and it doesn't look like it's improving. And they don't care about what the fans want or what they say. The only thing that they're listening to us is the whole Alicia thing. They didn't kill off Alicia. That's the only thing they listen to us about Fear, and it's not enough. Let's see. The audio stream's current buy rate is lower than recommended buy rate. Let's see. You know, guys, I think I want to end this stream in like a couple of minutes. Are you guys okay with that? I have some things that I need to do tonight. Let's see. Dan says Alicia deserves better. Yeah, absolutely, Dan. They gotta give these characters like Alicia. They gotta give them a good ending in this show. We don't need another Morgan death cliffhanger. Epic says at least the original cast has Dog. Yeah, I mean Fear has Skidmark, but you know, like Skidmark was like barely used. I mean, I don't know. It's just hard to say. I mean, Dog. I'll say Dog is better than Skidmark, but Skidmark is pretty close. You know, they're both precious. So yeah. Dan says because they know that if they kill Alicia, they know it's over. Well, at least they're smart about that. I'll admit. So let's see. Let's see. We're all cut up now. Yeah, guys. I think I really want to end it in a couple more minutes. Are you guys okay with that? I know. I know. Like I said before, it's gonna be kind of a short stream tonight. I just yeah, like I said, I just have some things I gotta do tonight, and yeah, let's see. Dan says Dog is better than Fear itself. LOL. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Dog himself is better than Fear, and it's funny. Like you can just have Dog survive to the end of the last, like have Dog survive to the last episode, and people will love the last episode of The Walking Dead. You know what I mean? Just show Dog. He's older and he's with Daryl or Judith, an older Judith on a porch. Just show that, and everyone will love that ending just because of that. But with Fear, you just can't do it the same way. Epic says, like I think Angela Kang knows that Dog is a fan favorite. That's probably why she's keeping him around. Yeah, I mean, they've killed off so many horses in the show. They killed off Shiva. Like, just stop with the animal killing, you know? I mean, yeah, I mean, animals are fast, you know? They should be able to survive, and some are stronger than us, so yeah, they should be able to survive, you know, over us, you know? It doesn't make sense that animals die all the time. Let's see, Eastside Badger says the tank from season 1 of The Walking Dead was better than Fear. Yeah, exactly. You know, like, Ken from the season 9 premiere, who died, and died saving a horse. When he died on the road, he is better than Fear. Like I'm gonna say that. Let's see. Dan says she listens to us unlike some people. LOL. Yeah, exactly, Dan. They need to listen to what the fans have to say, at least partially, you know, and follow the comics, like half and half. Eastside Badger says Shane's Hyundai was better as well. Yeah, I mean, I missed that. I missed that Hyundai. like I miss it. So nostalgic. Let's see. Epic says, like if Gimple was writing The Walking Dead in season 10, Dog would have died already. Yeah, it's definitely possible they would have just had that he would have just had Dog die, and like that's it. Like, yeah, just that would have been a big mistake. People would be furious. There would be things on Twitter. I just know there would be. People would be furious. Eastside Badger says, I don't think Kang's listen stand Magna is not a fan favorite. That's true, but Jerry is, and Connie is. Epic says that car is an icon in the earliest seasons. Yeah, that's true. I remember seeing the webisode for that, and I hated the webisode that they tried to explain where the Hyundai came from. Dan says, well, Magna was a mistake, I'll admit. Yeah, I'll admit, Dan. Angela Kang did not cast Magna right. Kelly, same. Connie, greatly casted. Luke, greatly casted, but Kelly and Magna definitely could have been better. I just don't get why, like, they just, did that. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, nor is her group. They weren't casted or written well. Um, okay, so Yumiko is okay. They could have done a little bit better. Kelly, bad. Magna, bad. But Luke and Connie are pretty good castings. So, and Magna and her group are not used too much in the comics. So, like, some characters were greatly cast, like Dante, perfect casting. You know, Gamma, really good casting. So they did some pretty good ones. Let's see. Epic says, I wonder why you hated the oath so much. Oh, I hated it so much, Epic. It wasn't consistent with the story. Let's see, we're already past the 2 hour mark. I'm just going to try and explain it kind of quick. Maybe just a couple more minutes and we should wrap it up. But I hated the oath because it was poorly done. So apparently that's in the same hospital that Rick woke up in the first episode, but they didn't use the same hospital. They were so cheap with it. They couldn't even go back to that original set and recreate that scene. And when the guy puts "Don't open dead inside," it looks completely different from the way Rick came to it. And also, the doctor in the oath, she said that the hospital fell apart months ago, and you can clearly see in the Walking Dead wiki timeline that Rick woke up on day 59 of the apocalypse. So it's full of the oath has full of inconsistencies, and it's super like cheaply made. It's just there's no point to it. It's just super dumb. And yeah, I mean that like I hated the oath. That was terrible. They didn't even use the same set, the same building. That took me out of the experience because I'm a loyal Walking Dead fan who pays attention to that stuff, and they just thought that I would be stupid enough to fall for that, and I didn't fall for it. Let's see. Eastside Badger says, except Connie. Exactly. Dan says, I actually like Yumiko. Definitely more than Magna. Let's see. Epic says, those webisodes were a hit or miss. Torn Apart was good. Yeah, the Bicycle Girl one was pretty good. Eastside Badger says, I like some of the webisodes. Yeah, but the Fear ones were terrible. They were so short, like 16 seconds. What were they thinking? Let's see. Dan says the webisodes were terrible, at least most of them. Yeah, pretty much like 9 out of 10 of them, Dan, were terrible. The Fear ones were all bad, pretty much. Even the Plane one, it was too much. And the Walking Dead ones were pretty much horrible. And they stopped doing the webisodes. After the Oath, they stopped doing the webisodes. And I think the reason for it is because no one liked them. No one liked the webisodes. They had nothing to do with the story, and they didn't really add backstory to anything. Those characters don't come into the story. It was just completely, useless. And also, the webisodes are very, very poorly done. I mean, very poorly done. They're made with like a $10 budget. Like fans could do better than that. I'm sorry, it's true. Let's see. Eastside Badger says Yumiko is better than Magna, but not by much. Yeah, I agree, Eastside Badger. I just don't care about the relationship that they're having. The relationship issues. I just don't care. Yeah, guys. Yeah, I think we should wrap it up soon. I'm gonna give it maybe like 6 more minutes, and then I'm gonna close it. Let's see. Eastside Badger says they're both just run of the mill apocalypse characters. Oh, you mean Magna and Yumiko? Yeah, and like we need backstory on Magna and Yumiko. Like, and I don't mean like the one from prison. I mean like did she ever like go dictatorship on anyone? You know what I mean? Like we need more things like that from her. Let's see. Dan says, but Magna was just terrible. Even Yumiko is annoyed with her. LOL. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Epic says, yeah, the Fear One Flight 462 was a waste. They teased that a character from the webisode was going to be a huge part of Fear, and she appeared in one episode. That's it. Well, actually, 2 episodes, Epic, but you are absolutely right. They lied to us, they hyped it up, and they flat on lied to us. You know, they said that character was going to be a big part of season 2. They were in for a little bit. And I hated that about Fear. Fear constantly introduced new characters, and we didn't get attached to them because they immediately were either killed off or they just left the story. And that's a problem that Fear Season 2 had, as well as still does. Dan says, I wonder if she's still alive. Oh, wait, I don't care, lol. Yeah, me either, Dan. I just don't care. Like, it was that bad. Eastside Badger says, maybe the group left Magna in the cave for a reason. I mean, here's the thing, Eastside Badger. Um, I can't see Connie and Kelly doing that, but the other characters maybe, but I just can't see Connie and Kelly doing that just because they're kind of loyal to Magna, so I don't know. Dan says I would. Yeah, I mean, they survived 11 years in the apocalypse, and they leave Magna because they're like, you know what, she's annoying. Let's see. Eastside Badge says I would as well. Save Connie though. Yeah, absolutely. You know, save Connie. I don't know, just like I mean, just Magna and Kelly. They're seriously the most expendable members of the group. You know, Magna's group, and she's the leader for Pete's sake. So I just don't know. Plus, Magna's supposed to be the leader, but Yumiko is calling all the shots. You know what I mean? So that's so weird. I don't know what they were thinking. Let's see. Epic says, like the Flight 462 was such a pathetic waste. I hated it. Yeah, absolutely Epic. It had nothing to do with the story, pretty much. There was no point to it. Dan says, definitely she's the best. Yeah, I hope they don't kill off Connie, Dan. But I mean, like, okay, so like East Badger said, no, Eastside Badger. Sorry, I guess the stream's been going on for a while. I guess I'm kind of tired. Like Eastside Badger said, they could not kill off anyone in the caves, but I think it could be either Magna or Connie. I don't know. I see something like that happening. Eastside Badger says Connie is loyal to unwashed Daryl. She loves the smell. Yeah, that's a good one, Eastside Badger. Yeah, Connie. I don't know. She's deaf, but she can still smell. So I don't know why she's attracted to Daryl. And I'm just kidding. I find it weird that Connie is the first female to ever be interested in Daryl. Like Rosita, like she has. I can't believe Rosita has never tried to start a relationship with Daryl. Like I cannot believe that. That's just crazy to me. You know. I mean Rosita. Like Daryl is the bachelor of The Walking Dead, and Rosita has never tried to do something with him. I mean, it's just that is crazy. Is that crazy? I think it's crazy. So yeah, guys, let's see. We got a couple more minutes. I really think I want to end it soon. Dan says, "How does she deal with that?" Yeah, I have no idea, Dan. I mean, Daryl's smell. It probably smells like a garbage can of diapers and wet dog. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what Daryl smells like, but he sometimes looks clean and he's a fan favorite. I'll admit that, and he's definitely better than he was before. But yeah, I mean, I just don't know how Daryl smells like. But Dog's fine with him, and Dog has a really good nose. We know that much. Let's see. Eastside Badger says Connie is a great actress. Yeah, she is. I mean, she gives 110% for the show. You know what I mean? I mean, for Pete's sake, she's deaf. She can't say anything. Just the fact that she's willing to act, be in the show for that. Let's see. Dan says, great stream. Thanks for doing 2 hours. Yeah, you're welcome, Dan. And thank you guys so much. Yeah, I think I'm going to start ending it here. So I want to thank you guys all so much. I want to thank, well, he left, but I want to thank King Ken 214. And now that that's out of the way, I want to thank the 3 main guys, I suppose my 3 musketeers. So Eastside Badger, Dan, and Epic Zombie Killer. I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of, once again, another stream. I cannot wait for The Walking Dead Season 10 to finally return. The streams will pretty... I don't know when, if the streams are going to continue when The Walking Dead returns. They're mostly for a break, but I might do like once a week. But yeah, I mean, the next stream I'm going to do, I think it's going to be Monday night. So yeah, so I'll see you guys. Oh wait, uh, oh sorry, Epic. Let's see. Epic says like if Dog dies, people are gonna be furious. Plus, I think Dog will live because after the Commonwealth gets introduced, the Walkers aren't really a problem anymore. Yeah, exactly, Epic. Dog needs to have a happy life. You know, he's a good boy. He needs to find a female dog and have some puppies and just live on a porch with Judith or something for the rest of his life. Like he's just got to have that happy ending he deserves. He's such a good boy. So yeah, I'm glad I read your last comment. Eastside Badger says, great stream, had fun tonight. Good night, Brian, Dan, Epic, and 2 more weeks. Yeah, 2 more weeks. I think it's like 16 days, but I mean, that's crazy. So close. Let's see. Dan says, we're always loyal. Well, thank you so much, Dan. And, in return, I'll be loyal to you guys as well, as much as I can. And let's see. Eastside Badge says, always loyal to the streams. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah. Let's see. Dan says, good night, Badger and Epic. And Eastside Badger says, good night, Dan. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end it there. It's been 2 hours and... Oh, wait. Let's see. Epic Zombie Killer says, plus Dog is becoming iconic. Yes, absolutely, Epic. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the stream tonight. I'll see you guys Monday night for my next live stream number 14. And yeah, take care, guys. Have a good night. Bye.